Friends, it is time for another one of my patented tier lists. This time, we'll be taking a look at the wild world of cover songs. I got a lot of them. We'll see how many we can get through. Got some great ones. We've got some really not great ones as well. Let's see where we land. Where should we start? How about, okay, let's start with a controversial one. How about that? And really quickly, I also wanted to mention my Patreon. If you like what I do on YouTube and everywhere else, joining my Patreon really helps me do this full time and worry less about videos getting demonetized by YouTube or copyright claimed by labels. Patrons get all my podcasts and main channel videos early. There are members only channels in my Discord that I'm super active in. I also do giveaways. For example, I've been giving away a lot of Emo's Not Dead merch, and you can also have me review your music, artwork, or anything else. All you need to do is join my Patreon at the $10 level, and then every month I do a call for submissions. If you want me to review something, just drop it in the comments of that post, and then I will review it live on Twitch. So if any of that sounds cool to you, hit the link in the description of this video, and I appreciate your support. Let's start with a controversial one. How about that? A divisive song, The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. Personally, I think this song is great. I really do. I'm not a big fan of Disturbed. I mean, David Draymond seems like a cool guy, especially the time that David Draymond from Disturbed said, "Hey, Justin Bieber, I hear you're in Amsterdam, so am I. I challenge you to a smoke-off, #cannabis community." I want to know the results of this. Did the smoke-off ever go down? And if it did, who won? I don't know. But David seems like a cool guy. I like him. That tweet was a bit cringe, but it's okay. I'm still a fan. I think this song is awesome. I don't know why people hate this song. Like, it seems like this was like the biggest hit they'd had in 20 years or something like that. The live version of it from whichever late night program it was also awesome. Conan, that's what it was. I really don't understand why people didn't like it. I think this song is awesome. So where would I put this one? I don't know that I would call this like one of the best songs of all time. Ooh, how about this? Look at this. Got the edgy skeleton guy carrying his dead girlfriend's skeleton. Very morbid. I don't know that I would call this like one of the, great covers of all time or anything, but I think it's damn good. Personally, I would put it on the A tier. They took a song that, was already like pretty decent, but they made it their own. And I think it's an A tier. I don't get the hate. I really legitimately don't understand what people dislike about it. I really don't. I think it's great. Next, how about another one? A popular one. The people like this one. Smooth Criminal by Alien Ant Farm. People really like this one. S tier. See, everyone's saying S tier. Here's my thing. Here's the reason why I don't like this one. The reason why is because I think Alien Ant Farm is a really good band, and I am butthurt because I liked their first single, Movies, back when it came out, and I'm butthurt this song outshined all their originals. I do think this is very good, but I think all their originals are even better. Yeah, Movies is, I think Movies is better, personally. So I am butthurt that this song stole the thunder of their originals. With that said, is it good? Yes, it is well done, but I don't know, just it doesn't feel right to give this an S tier, knowing that this band is actually kind of not kind of underrated, is incredibly underrated. Objectively, I don't know. I'll say I want to put this lower because I'm butthurt that it overshadowed their originals. But out of respect for the band, I'll put it on the A tier. That's just my opinion. I do think the band is great. Just if you like the cover, do yourself a favor and check out some of their originals. That's all I'm asking, because Alien Ant Farm is an underrated band. How about this? From, when is, I don't even know when this is from. Johnny Cash's cover of Hurt by 9 Inch Nails. I don't remember when this came out. Right before he died, right? I would say, like, I don't really care for this cover, and I don't really care for the original either. However, I do think that it is an example of one of the best covers of all time. Like, I wouldn't choose to listen to it, but objectively, I mean, it's everything to me that a cover should be, which is somebody taking an already great song that was like legendary in its own right, and then doing another version of it that is equally legendary in its own right and putting his own spin on it. to me, it is perfect. I mean, and a great piece of music history too. Absolutely. I mean, to me, this has got to be one of the very best covers of all time, in my personal opinion. Like, would I choose to listen to it? No. But objectively, like, how could this be any better? You know what I mean? The original is great. This is a great cover with a great story behind it by somebody who's like incredibly legendary. Yeah, most people don't even know it's a cover, and they don't have to know it's a cover, because like, you don't have to appreciate the original to love this song just for what it is, which to me, that's really what makes a great cover, is if it just stands on its own, where you don't even have to know any of the context or, you know, any of the history or any of that. And it's also pretty amazing that for Johnny Cash to be able to sing lyrics by Trent Reznor, someone who's way younger than him in a completely different style, and for you to feel like Johnny Cash could have written these lyrics, I mean, that's a pretty amazing accomplishment to me. If this song isn't S tier, if that's not an S tier cover, I don't know what is, right? I mean, how could it get any better than that? I think it's great. I would say it's S tier. Oh, that's another good one from back in the 90s. Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson. Yeah. I have never been a big fan of Marilyn Manson myself. I would consider this another one of the great covers, in the sense of, I wonder how many people even know this was a cover. This is by the Eurythmics, right? Came out in like the early 80s or something. An 80s pop song. And then Manson comes out with this in sometime in the 90s. I don't remember exactly. Completely reinterprets it, turns it into a song that's entirely his own. I don't personally care for this, personally, but I would say that it's kind of the same as Johnny Cash, where I think it's a very impressive feat for somebody to be able to take a song from a different artist in a different era, in a different genre, and turn it into something that feels like his. And like, how many Marilyn Manson fans heard this and had no idea for years that it was a cover? Fuck this guy. Yeah. I will say, not a fan of Marilyn Manson on a personal level. Seems like kind of a shitbag. I understand that a lot of the allegations against him most recently were false, but I still think he's kind of a shitbag. I still don't like him. Still not a fan. With that being said, I do think this is objectively a great cover. What do you guys think? There's a part of me that wants to put this on the S tier because it's pretty goddamn good. It's pretty iconic. Yeah, I mean, I think this is better than the Disturbed and Alien Ant Farm songs. I do. So I'm going to put it on the S tier. That's what I think. I'm putting it on the S tier. It broke into the masses. It did. It's true. So I'm putting it on the S tier. That's what I think. All right. What else do we have? Okay. This one's not going to be a popular opinion. Halloween by AFI, originally by the Misfits. This is a fan favorite, and I certainly don't think it's bad by any means, but I don't think it's one of AFI's best songs. Like, it sounds like a cover to me, if that makes sense. And to me, like, the best covers don't seem like covers. You know what I mean? Like, if we look at some of those other songs, they've been like reinterpreted, recontextualized. You don't have to know the history. You don't have to, you know, care about who did it first, or you don't have to know the original to appreciate it. I think this song, it feels like a cover to me. With that being said, I think it is a very good cover. I think they did a great job with it. It's a fan favorite, so, you know, I don't have anything bad to say about it by any means. I just don't, I don't know that I worship it to the same extent as other people do. You know, maybe because, well, I'm trying to be nice. But when I think of AFI fans, you know, there's a little bit of a crossover between AFI fans and Disney adults, right? A little bit of crossover there. I'm not a Disney adult. I don't own any Funko Pops. So perhaps the appeal of this song is just lost on me, but I prefer AFI's originals. I do think it's certainly good, though. I'm going to put it on the B tier. Nothing wrong with it. But, you know, I would not say it's amazing either. That's what I think. Red Hot Chili Peppers? Well, I certainly have Red Hot Chili Peppers song to talk about. You know, I'm old because this was like the first Red Hot Chili Peppers song that I became acquainted with was Higher Ground. I think this is from like 89, right? Cover of Stevie Wonder. I love this song. I love this era of Red Hot Chili Peppers. This was the song that put them on the map to begin with, before they really blew up. This cover of Stevie Wonder, and I think it's great. Once again, they definitely recontextualized it. I don't know that I would put it on the same level as The Sound of Silence or Sweet Dreams, but it's pretty damn good. And it is the song that broke them on sort of the national level. So I'm going to put it solidly on the B tier along with AFI, I think, right? I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Very good cover, but maybe not as good as Johnny Cash and Marilyn Manson. Let's talk about a few covers that maybe didn't age so well, huh? How about that? For example, I mean, we all know this one, but we got to talk about it. Most recently, Lil Uzi Vert covering System of a Down. Lil Uzi Vert doing Chop Suey. I still can't believe this isn't a joke. I hear you, man. This is like worse than local band, right? This is worse than local band material. And I am a well-known System of a Down disliker. So for me, like to put out something that's even worse than System of a Down, that's really saying something. Do you think they listened to this back in the studio when they're recording it and went, yeah, dude, this is fire, or they're in on the joke? I would imagine that Lil Uzi Vert does whatever the fuck he wants, and those engineers probably just want to fucking get out of there, because he probably showed up at the studio at 5 a.m., smoked weed for 3 hours before he even got in the vocal booth, and by the time that they actually pressed record on this, it was probably like 10 a.m., and they were like, oh my god, I haven't slept in a day and a half, I just want to go home. Like, oh yeah, bro, that's fire. Yeah, you slayed that, king. And like, oh, let's fucking go home. I gotta get the fuck out of here. That's my guess. Again, confirmed System of a Down disliker to do something that is like shockingly bad, even for me. That says a lot. So where does this go? Well, if there was anything lower than the F tier, I would put it on that. I've heard many local bands that sound better than that. This is legit worse than any Ja Rule single. Oh, it is. It's worse than Ja Rule. And if you're doing worse than Ja Rule, that's an accomplishment. Another one that maybe did not hold up so well. We've all probably seen this one, but I mean, we got to include it. Puddle of Mud covering Nirvana, About a Girl. It's rough. It's hard to watch, right? It's one of these things where you're like, I want to go hide under a rock out of vicarious embarrassment. I just feel bad for the other guys in the studio there. Like, I mean, everyone in this band knows that this is dog shit, right? But they just got their game faces on. They're hired guns. They're just here to show up and play the guitar. They're just, the whole time they're thinking of themselves like, dear God, what are my friends going to say when they see this? You can see this guy trying hard not to laugh. He's just like, oh my God. I respect it. All the guys in this band, here's what they should have done. As soon as this was done, they should have turned around with an iPad and presented it to the producer, who should have tipped them all $1,000 each. Because they really showed up, right? I mean, shout out to these guys for making it through the song. That's all I have to say for them. Here's the thing. My friend who's a vocal coach, she said that she thinks that he was just trying to sing a song that was out of his range, which is probably true. Maybe he was just having a bad day. Maybe his monitors didn't work. It's a live song. So who knows? I'm inclined to, give him the benefit of the doubt. It's terrible. Don't get me wrong. But at least it wasn't in the studio. Lil Uzi Vert, like, that was recorded. He could have redone that. That wasn't live. He had every opportunity in the world to redo that. So I feel like, you know what? Out of solidarity with my boys in Puddle of Mud, even though this is terrible, I'm going to put it on the C tier just because at least it's not as bad as Lil Uzi Vert, right? At least it's not that bad. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible, but Lil Uzi Vert is worse, right? It's worse. And they're both bad, but like there's a special level of awfulness for that Lil Uzi Vert cover, I think. How about a controversial one? Back in the day, Guilty of Being White, originally by Minor Threat, covered by Slayer off their 1994 album, Undisputed Attitude, which I think is great. I think this album's awesome. Now, the controversial part here is that at the end, he changed the lyrics to guilty of being right. And everyone was like, oh, they're all Nazis, white supremacists, like accusing them of all that stuff, which I find a little bit hard to believe given that two of them are immigrants. Dave Lombardo is from Cuba and Tom Araya is from Chile. Not to say that immigrants can't be white supremacists. They can be. Just it would be a little bit unlikely for the two Latino immigrants in the band to be white supremacists. A little bit unlikely to me. I think it's really good. This whole album is excellent. It's very rare. Usually when metal bands cover, I mean, obviously I'm a Slayer mega fan because I'm wearing my Slayer shirt today. But usually when metal bands cover punk songs, it sounds awful to me, like really like stiff and just kind of shitty. But Slayer, they always had a little bit of that punk edge to them. So I thought they did a great job with those covers. That whole album, I think, is really good. You know, it's definitely a cover, though. Does it really add anything to the original? I don't think so, but it's cool. So I would put it on the same tier probably as AFI, I think, you know, and Red Hot Chili Peppers, like cool covers. And I'm sorry, but I'll put Puddle of Mud on the F tier, I guess, because then anything I put on the C tier is going to be the same tier as Puddle of Mud. And, you know, that's we can't have that. Yeah, I think a B is a fair grade. In any case, I think it's good. Underrated album. Next, we have, speaking of the Misfits, we have Blind Melon cover by Michael Graves, which I did not know this existed until very recently. And now I wish that I didn't know it existed. This was the guy who replaced Danzig in the Misfits, covering, in the fake Misfits, yes, covering No Rain by Blind Melon. Why does it exist? I wish I knew. I wish I knew, and I wish it didn't. And so will you. I think the original is an awesome song. I love the original. This is like an S tier song, the original. All I can say is that my life is pretty plain. I have a big problem with his hair, for one. Old white guys with dreads, never a good look. Second thing is, like, this like isn't even the same vocal melody. It's like literally not the right song. Like, he just changed the vocal melody. Like, it's literally not the song. Fingerless gloves. Fingerless gloves and dreads. That's a combo. This reminds me of, like, some local mic thing where you'd be like, why did the guy change the song? It's not the song. But what was the goal? And, you know, it's a valid point. It's like, on the one hand, you want an artist to change a song and make it their own, not just do a straight up cover of it. On the other hand, if they change it in a way that sort of just seems weird and arbitrary, you're like, why did you do that? So I would say, is this the worst thing I've ever heard? No, but it's definitely far from the best thing I've ever heard. I don't know. Does he even represent the Misfits anymore? I don't know, but I need a logo for something, so I'll use this. I would say this is a good candidate, in my opinion, for the true use of the C tier. It's not great, but it's not as just like abominably awful as Lil Uzi Vert or Puddle of Mud, right? So I think C tier is the fair place for it. It's bad, but it's not just like wretched, right? That's what I think. So I feel fair about that. Okay, here's an interesting one. This one's a little bit tough to rank. This is Oops, I Did It Again by Children of Bodom, originally by Britney Spears. A little bit of a hard one to rank. Did you know this existed? Oh, yeah. Think I did it again. Real rockers only. Throw the horns up, baby. I actually like the keyboards here. Now, this is an interesting one because it's obviously bad, right? But it's supposed to be bad. So how do you rank a cover that's deliberately bad? It's not easy to do. Like, would I ever choose to listen to that? Absolutely not. But I think it's pretty cool that they did it. So to me, the reason I respect that cover so much is because you think of them as being one of these like serious, you know, European metal bands, right? Which they are. They're a great band. R.I.P. Alexei Laiho, very talented musician. Seems like a cool guy too. So I appreciate it because, you know, when you think of like fun or sense of humor, European metal bands, not the first thing that comes to mind. So I appreciate that they did this, showed the world that they had a sense of humor. Would I ever choose to listen to it? No. But I appreciate that it exists. I appreciate that they had fun with it. So I'll go with the C tier. That's where I would put it. Last and maybe least is your man, MGK, also covering System of a Down. I feel like System of a Down, maybe this is a band that you just shouldn't try to cover, because it feels like when people try to cover System of a Down, it feels like it doesn't go well. You know what I mean? It's like fighting John Jones. Just don't do it. Fake an injury, tell him your manager, turn down the contract, do whatever you need to do. You just do not get in the ring with John Jones, because you're going to get fucked up. Right? And I would say System of a Down, as much as I'm not a fan, I don't like the band, but, you know, they did something pretty unique. Chances are that if you try to cover System of a Down, it's probably not going to go well for you. This is maybe the biggest casualty of all.
Choose something to cover. It's got to be a band you respect. And today you're going to do a cover of a band that I love, System of a Down. That's a great band, right?
Great band. Yeah, we toured with them for
great
a
band.
Summer.
MGK is the popular, the kid that wants so bad to be the outcast, but he can't because he's too popular. You know, that's a problem that I wish I had. It's like, I wish I was in the small penis club, but they won't let me in because my dick is too big. That's the problem I want to have. Like, I want to be MGK. I'm just too damn famous, good looking, rich, and successful to get into the outcast club. That's the problem I want to have.
Have you ever performed aerials at a festival or anything, or is this the first time you're doing it?
We've never done aerials at all. I'm like, you know, I'm here to just jam it and see what happens.
We've never played this song. I will say this, System of a Down. So he's saying we've never played this song before. I don't know that that was a wise decision. I would say before you cover System of a Down in front of millions of people, maybe try practicing it. That'd be my word of advice for next time. Maybe try practicing.
You guys have never performed this
Serge's
before.
voice is so untouchable. It's like I'm just kind of here to just jam and have some fun.
Imagine the other guys in the band being like, oh boy. Look at this. I love the guitarist just trying so hard not to laugh. He's just like, oh, damn. Oh, I'm going to get it for this one. Just trying not to laugh. This is the best part coming up here. This guy also trying not to laugh. Shout out to these men for putting on their game face. Here we go. You know what's great about him too is like he probably thinks he nailed this, right? He has such a huge ego and he's so confident that he's probably like, yeah, dog, we rocked that. I'm gonna wait for Serge to text me and say, bruh, that was fire. Like he is 100% confident that this is the best version of this song that anybody has ever played, including System of a Down themselves. I guarantee it. So, where does this belong? Well, you guys tell me. Do you guys think that this is better or worse than Lil Uzi Vert? I would say, I feel like this is worse than Uzi. Uzi's bad. I feel like this was somehow even worse, which is an accomplishment. You think it's better? Better? Okay. Well, either way, I think we can all agree that F tier is where it belongs. I'm sorry, Mr. Kelly. I'm sorry to do this to you. I know that you may not be a big fan of me, but Mr. Kelly, it is an F tier cover. Next time, my advice is practice the song before you cover it live on Howard's Turn. That is my advice, and that does it for this edition of the Rock and Metal Cover Song Tier List. Join us again for Volume 2 next time. We got lots and lots more songs to talk about, so join us for that. Oh, yeah, bro, that's fire. Yeah, you slayed that, King.